And I do think niggas is fake and phony. I do, because you telling me you wasn't gonna like none of my other shit, but you gonna make sure you like the one that went viral. That's crazy. That's crazy. Like, that's crazy as fuck. It's like, and it's so weird. Like, I've always been interested in how perspective changes shit. Like, even as a kid, I've always been interested in how a variable can shift the perspective of something. Like, for instance, right? Converse. Converse, the style of shoe that Converse is, right? That is a style of shoe. And if you have off-brand Converse, or like Polo, the off-brand Polo, then the perception of you changes based on the variable that it's off-brand. So even though I couldn't verbalize this, I always was fascinated with perception, because when you're intelligent, you perceive at a higher level. So you don't just perceive school things, intellectual things like math and science and reading, but you also perceive social things and social dynamics at a higher rate than most people. So this is something I've always been interested in, but something I've been learning is separating myself, because I understand it's just about a perspective. It's just about it's an equation. I failed math for most of my life. Like, somewhere around like 4th, 5th grade, I started getting really bad at math. When they started adding in fractions and decimals and long division and then algebraic expressions and factoring and I don't know, and geometry, somewhere along the line I just got really bad at math. I could not understand math. Sidebar, it's not that I couldn't understand math, the way in which they teach math is stupid. So they teach math in a way that confuses your brain. And when I got to college and I started teaching myself math, or I just was in a situation where I didn't have teachers, because it's so funny too, because oh my god, this is why I go on so many different topics, because it's actually I make the connections as I speak. And that's why it's so important for me to talk, because this ain't even got shit to do with what I was talking about. But it's so crazy that in primary school all the way up until college, before college, so from primary all the way to high school, they stress how important it is to show your work and how important it is to get the answer in a way it was taught. There are so many times I would find the answer in math class. I would get the answer right, but because I did not solve the problem the way it was taught, it was considered incorrect. And it got marked as incorrect. And eventually, because I kept getting it marked as incorrect, whether or not I got the answer right, I just eventually, I guess I gave up. I don't know. I guess I gave up, because if I can't give you the right answer my way, what am I going to do? You know what I'm saying? So I kind of just gave up on trying to whatever. I mean, I tried, but the way they taught was just backwards to me. Like, I would find the answer in quicker ways. Literally, I would find the answer in quicker ways, and I would still get it wrong because I didn't answer it the way they wanted me to answer it. How do y'all not see the psychological programming? How do you not see? They don't even care about the end. It's about the means to it. They don't even care about the end. They don't even care about the end. It's not even about getting the right answer. So what is that about? It's teaching you to think in a way that's stupid. But I think it's very funny that from primary school up until high school, it's all about showing your work and getting the answer done a certain way, the correct way. But then when you get to college, they don't care how you get the answer. They don't even care if you get the answer right. So what does that tell you about education? What is education really about? What is education really about? What is education really about? If when you get to what is supposed to be the highest level of education for you, they don't even care if you get the answer right. They don't care if you know the information. They don't care if you understand it. All they care about is if that check clear. You don't have to go to any class if you don't want to, and you could cheat. You know how many people cheating in college? You think the motherfuckers going to them fraternities and drinking till the sun come up and then studying? Be so for real right now. So I brought all that up to say that I was always bad at math, but in my later years in life, I'm actually really, really, really good at math, and I use math in a more natural way. I'm good at natural math. Like specifically when it came to money, I didn't understand fractions. I didn't understand equations and algebra. I didn't understand all that until I put a dollar sign in front of it. When I put a dollar sign in front of math equations, it started to make a lot of sense. It started to make a lot of sense. When I started to learn how to play music, music is math. Music is math. And this music is not just math, but it's geometry, it's algebra. You could argue that it's fractions, decimals, the frequency. Music is math, but there's just so many things. Even like my schedule is broken down into a mathematical equation. Everything is math. And if I'm being honest with you, I can't remember why I started recording. Why did about the videos and the virality and shit and the perceptions. So I don't know how I got to math though, but I remember the perceptions and the variable. Oh, because that's a math equation. Life is a math equation. Life is math. It's crazy because Western education teaches you in a backwards way. I heard Brother Panic talk about this, and I'm just now starting to understand this. I heard this 2 years ago. The past 2 years in his old lectures, he talks about this. And he talks about how as a people we've been so concerned about what's being taught in schools that we don't even think about how they teach us. And even today, he said this back in like 2018, 2019. I'm watching old lectures. So this is before they started talking about taking out critical race theory and changing this and changing that. But again, perception and